Welcome back to the At Home with Roby show. I'm Ashley Davis along with Trent Haston from the Roby family of companies. Visit us today at andrewroby.com. That's Andrew, R-O-B-Y.com. Or you can always find us at the WBT.com homepage. Trent, before the break, we had a little bit of fun, but now we're going to get down to business. We're joined by our special guest, Ricky Brake with Carolina Shutters and Blinds of Charlotte. Ricky, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you very much for having me.
Trent, we talked briefly in that first segment just about the importance of window coverings and what it can really do to enhance a home. You see it all the time when we're remodeling a house.
Yeah. What I like, I think that especially plantation shutters, but then we also do a lot of custom exterior shutters. You can decorate those up that fit the window correctly, and working shutters that have proper hinging and sizing on the shutters. Then you also have ones that don't fit the window at all, and they just screw them to the wall, right?
Right, that's right.
But when you come on the interior, you can really add a lot of value to the home. What I see in 10 years ago when I put my shutters up, and I've seen this in so many clients' houses, people walk in and they don't know why the house looks so nice when it's really a nice shutter treatment on the windows. And it's kind of something I've always said, a really nice house that has really nice quality details, people will look at it and love it and not know why.
Exactly. And Ricky, there are a lot of options out there, but you guys are very unique in the way you approach not just the product but the service.
We like to believe that's the case.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. You know, our company is co-branded with Carolina Shutter and Blinds up in Winston, and for 25 years they've been making composite shutters. And here in Charlotte, we started a couple of years ago, and we have found ourselves with a 5-star rating on House and all A's on Angie's List. So our goal is to be the window treatment brand where Carolina's customers look for local ownership with local products and great service. We'd like to grow into Carolinas along those same lines.
So
Absolutely.
Carolina Shutter and Blind makes its own line.
Yes.
And they're made out of Winston-Salem.
Correct, the composite shutter, that's right.
And that's all composite.
Correct.
And I'm assuming composite is a very high quality of plantation shutter. This plantation line.
It is, and we like to think of it as your best value shutter. It has an MDF core, wood fibers and resin. Then we wrap it in a polymer so that it never warps or chips or cracks or fades or any of the things that.
And you don't have to paint them.
Don't have to paint them is exactly right. Easy to clean and the like. And
this is a lesson for homeowners out there. If you buy a house and it has old stained wood shutters from the 1970s, throw them away. Don't try to paint them with a paintbrush. They will look horrendous.
We do also offer the wood shutters for people. Sometimes only wood will do if it needs staining, for instance. But we offer those. Those are also made in North Carolina. And we have shades and blinds made here in
It's so great that they're made in North Carolina because everybody wants to be environmentally friendly. You want to think about what's your impact. And if you're sourcing things locally, you're making them here. They're not shipping across the world. They're not made overseas, coming across on a boat. You have them here. They're local. You can probably get them faster maybe when you're going to do an install. But it's easy. It's nice to have that local feel to it when you're remodeling your home.
It most certainly is. And I'll tell you a little more to the green side of that is there's no packaging. We take our Sprinter vans up there to Winston-Salem or wherever we pick up our products, and we load them on the van, and we load them off the van at your house, and we put them in your window. So there's no cardboard or styrofoam with a light.
And as my daddy would always say, when there is a problem, you can just ride up to Winston and yank the parts you need, get that joker fixed. You don't have to wait on China or somebody else to dictate the process. That's true.
Accidents happen. Baseballs hit shutters, and do we need one louver? You know, and so we just run up to Winston. They cut one real quick for us.
Hey, you don't know how many times, more so when I was a project manager, I would need something and it'd just be on the list.
Yes.
I mean, a custom brick or a shutter piece or a cabinet piece.
Right.
And, man, if it's made somewhere in the Carolinas, I'm like, look, I'll be there in 2 hours.
Right.
and get to get it off the list. But there's so much value in that. Not only is there value in it being made locally, and pride.
Right.
But there's value in the process of the knick-knack punch list and getting stuff taken care of.
And, we talk about the green aspect of that, no packaging, which is really cool because you buy anything at any store, you come home, you have more packaging than you have products sometimes. But you're putting people to work in North Carolina.
That's
right.
Up
the road in Winston, but there's some pride in that, right? You're employing people not just here on your team in Charlotte, but you have a team up there building things.
That is so true. And other manufacturers here. When we get roller shades, when we get blinds, those are people in North Carolina making these products. And when we bring them in and put them in your window, you've got local service and you have the local products as well.
So I called Ricky Brake, Carolina Shutter and Blind.
Yes.
And I say, hey, I'm interested in talking the game of putting shutters, window treatments on my windows. I'd like you to come out. I'm homeowner. I'm T homeowner. You come out?
I do, and Stacy does. There's two of us.
You and Stacy?
Yes.
Y'all measure and y'all show samples and styles and stuff?
Absolutely. You know, our style is to listen and learn at the beginning of the conversation.
Okay.
We want to understand what Trent wants in his window. What's valuable to Trent about it? Is he trying to block the sun? Is he thinking about aesthetics? Does he want both? Has he had a bad experience or a good experience with a past window treatment? We want to hear from Trent. And then after that, we will offer options, and we'll consult for a little while. We'll talk about how different treatments work in the window. And so that's exactly right. You call me, we come out, we do a consultation.
So, Ricky, and by the way, folks, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the At Home with Roby show. You can go to andrewroby.com, find out more about us. We're joined today by Ricky Brake from Carolina Shutters and Blinds. Trent said it, you said it. People call you. How can they call you? What's the number? Let's get that out there.
980. It's 285 and then 7295. And they can also
295. So 980-285-7295.
Exactly.
And if you're listening, you didn't get that, go to andrewroby.com. Call us. We'll put you in touch with Ricky. You can find out more about what they do. And I'm just kind of looking at some of the notes we talked about earlier. We're talking residential here, but you also do commercial spaces, business parks, things like that.
I do. We've been fortunate in that area. Speaking of when you started off the show talking about springtime and the sun coming through the window, we're doing a lot of solar screens now in restaurants to break that sun up a little bit, keep it out of people's eyes when they're at the cash register, and also out of customers' eyes when they're trying to sit down and enjoy the restaurant experience. And we do business parks as well, and also some restaurants, they enjoy the window film. We offer a line of window film to break or bust up the UV light and also retain the heat in the wintertime.
So is the film gaining prominence?
It is.
I would think with technology progress.
Yes, they're making film so much better these days like they are everything else. And one thing about film is the one I offer, which is, very good value film, it's not gonna fade. Dyes fade, but the dyes we use, the window film I bring has been written up in Scientific American and the like. It's a very strong lifetime.
So do you have to have immense knowledge of the window industry and the window product lines when you go out to somebody's house? Do you know what type of window lines, brands work well and need what they need?
Yes. You have to have a pretty good idea about what's available for people for different operating systems as well. Some person might want a motorized roller shade. Some people might want a cordless roller shade and the like. These have dimension requirements and that we need to make sure we're aware of. And me not being national, not being a franchise, I bring on different lines that I feel like would serve best in the marketplace. And so I have to be up to speed on those.
Now, Daddy said anything with the motor breaks.
Right.
So
exactly
is that a problem or is that
No,
not a problem?
It's not a problem. Motorization has come a long way. There's a large manufacturer of motors, and then some of my window treatment lines are also bringing on their own motorization lines.
Got it.
And it's quite popular. Cords are beginning to go away. So people do cordless or they do motorized.
So your logo has a pineapple. It's a very nice logo. Is that to connotate plantation?
It is. I didn't know this until they told me when I started with the Winston branding, and that is the welcome sign of the South. When you go to beach houses, sometimes you see pineapples. It's a welcome symbol.
There's a reason for that. Maybe we'll Google it in the break, but there's a reason for that. I've seen it in the past because I've seen pineapple. It's something about welcoming in a home. It's I think a Hawaiian thing or something.
Welcome symbol, right.
I've been to the Dole pineapple plant in Hawaii, so that's why I'm such a I have good hypotheses.
TJ bring us in some pineapple next week.
That's right.
Hint, hint.
And knowing what's available too, Trent, you bring up a good point is last week's show, you were talking about the value of artisanship and craftsmanship.
Yes.
And it was so valuable to me. I enjoyed listening to that because we feel like that's what we bring. You have to know not only the way the shade would operate, but also, make sure it's measured right and fits in the window right.
Yep.
Because it's the whole experience for the customer. It's all about the customer.
Keep that thought. Can you stay with us?
Yes,
Come
sir.
back in the next break. So we're going to talk more about that. I want to talk more about the actual shutters and talk some about that craftsmanship and how you fit them in there and make them fit right. You're listening to the At Home with Roby show. We've got Ricky Brake with us today from Carolina Shutters and Blinds. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll talk more with Ricky. We'll be right back.